Hi, my name's Emma Ketirai, and I'm a certified Dubsado specialist. In this video, we're going to talk about which tasks you can and should automate in your wedding planning business. So I've worked with a lot of wedding planners, and they're juggling a lot of different tasks, multiple clients and weddings, and trying to stay on top of so many different things. And then if you add to that the tasks that you could be automating, like following up with leads who haven't booked calls, or following up with leads on their proposals or the status of payments, or have they signed their contract, filled in their questionnaires, all these different things, book their planning calls, it starts to become way too much. So there are tasks that you can automate with a software like Dubsado, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So the first thing that you can automate in your business is sending those leads who reach out to you an automated message, letting them know that you're going to get back to them within a certain amount of time. Or it depends on your approach. You could send them a link to book a call immediately after they fill out the form. It's completely up to you. I've seen it both ways. Some people just want leads to book a call, and some people want to filter the leads and make sure that they're available on the wedding date that the lead is providing. But other people would rather talk to those who reach out. Okay, so it's completely up to you. So the first thing first is to create a lead capture form. So this is like your contact form in Dubsado. And so you're going to ask all the different information that you need, the first partner's information, the second partner's information, their wedding date, if they have it, location, all these sorts of things. And to automate this in Dubsado, basically you're going to come here into the settings and connect it to a workflow. So you need to create the forms, then build the workflow, and then connect the two. Okay, so let's pretend you've created your form. The next thing you're going to do is come to workflows and add steps in here. In Dubsado, before you create workflows, just so you know, you need to have thought of the emails that you're going to write and write those and add them to the canned email section. Create the forms that you're going to use. Like everything that you need needs to be created before you come and build the workflow. So I have other videos that you can reference. Here, I'm going to assume that, we created all the different things and we're just building the workflow. So I want you to see what you can automate here. What you're going to do, the main thing is to attach an email that sends out to them as soon as they fill out that form. Some people put half an hour delay or 10-minute delay on this so that it seems more like human. So they know it's not an autoresponder. But my personal take is people want to hear from you fast. So the people who reply quickly, the people who provide options and information and next steps quickly are the ones who are going to get booked more easily. So at this point, like I said, it's up to you. If you wanted to make this email so that you send them the scheduler right away, you could do that. Or you could say that you're going to get in touch with them within a certain amount of time, and you can attach your pricing guide or service guide, whatever information you want them to see, or a link to your website or your Instagram page. You can do all of that in this email, okay? So I've written this email in canned emails, and now I connected it simply by selecting that and then hit apply. And like I said, you can put a delay here. Once that happens, if you want to vet people before you send them a scheduler, the next step would be to put to do here. So basically, this to do, it will send you an email or not. It's up to you. You can toggle this on or off. And what it's going to do is it's going to hold the workflow from continuing. So Dubsado does not have conditional logic, meaning you can't go and or. There's no two paths. There's a linear path that you follow. So we're just going to assume that this is like the yes path. And anything that is a no path, you're going to send them an email manually, okay? So this to do is basically just holding the next step. So if they are a good fit, you're going to check the little box in the client's project, and it's going to send them their consultation call scheduler. Next, Dubsado can send proposal, contract, and invoice to your clients when you've talked to them, you've seen that they're a good fit to work with you. And Dubsado proposals can look like this. So if I preview this, it's going to be blank here because it's the template. It's not attached to a project, so it doesn't have the partner names. So it would be for, partner one and partner two. So here you can describe your, services. You can talk a bit about yourself, your process, all this sorts of stuff, put testimonials. You can make this completely your own. It's very easy to design in Dubsado. I actually sell this proposal template. It's on my website if you were interested, but you can design pretty easily in Dubsado. Okay, so you can see here, wedding collection 1, 2, 3. They can select. You can put add-ons here. I've just added sample packages in this case. And then basically you can put more information here. Here is where you would ask them to lock in their wedding date so that it pulls into Dubsado's system and Dubsado knows that that's the project date, right? So it can reference that in the workflows later on. You can add more information here, obviously, more information about the venue, these sorts of things. You can add all of that there. And basically, once they submit, you can see here that there's a contract and an invoice. So you can attach in Dubsado, if you go to the form settings, the contract that you want to use, and you can use smart fields, which are these little curly Q items here that pull information from different places, like client information or package information, to auto-populate so that you don't have to add like the price into the contract, like it's all automatically added. And then based on what they select, it'll generate an invoice. So they'll get one link, they'll select their package, they will sign their contract and pay their invoice all in one go, okay? And if they happen to drop off, you can use Dubsado's automated workflows. Like the payment plan will send them reminders if they've, like, for instance, signed their contract but not paid their invoice. You can even set up workflows to automate contract reminders. That's a little different. I won't get into that, but there's a lot that you can do. And then the beauty is, if I go back to workflows, you can send it and then you can follow up if they haven't completed it in a few days, just to check in with them. You can do multiple check-ins and then hold everything else until they've signed their contract and paid their invoice, right? So this onboarding workflow will not start until they've signed their contract and paid their retainer, which is awesome. So a lot of this stuff is off your plate. You don't have to keep remembering because you know the system's going to follow up for you. The next thing that you can do with Dubsado to automate is once they've signed on, automate sending their portal information or any welcome guides that you have or planning guides and questionnaires. So if you look at this email here that I have, it sends them a link to the questionnaire that you want them to fill out first. It sends them a link to their client portal so that they can look at that. You can add a PDF, a guide, something about like how you're going to work with them. All of that can be added to an email and automated. And just like the proposal, it's following up if they haven't submitted that questionnaire in a little bit. The other thing Dubsado can do is you can send schedulers to have clients book calls when it works best for them so that you can touch base with them throughout your time together. So if you wanted to send, for instance, this planning call, they're going to get that scheduler as soon as they complete the planning questionnaire, because you want to go over the responses that they gave you together to form a better idea of their vision of their wedding day. You can send schedulers, certain amount of days before their wedding or weeks or months before their wedding. So you can have these different triggers that you can use to send schedulers to your client to connect when it works best for you and them. The next thing that you can do is send resources to them, again, at points in time where it makes sense. So for instance, you can see here that I've added a resources email. So like a final planning checklist, right? Things that are important for them to know. I've seen people send guides. I've seen people send blog posts. I've seen people send emails with a lot of like tips and stuff in them. And this one's going to go out 90 days before their project start date. So 90 days before their wedding. So you can use that to send helpful information to your clients throughout your time together. You can send additional questionnaires to collect information that you need to build the wedding of their dreams, right? So here you can see there's a timeline questionnaire that's going out 120 days before their project start date. So again, project start date is wedding date. So you can see here, this is going to attach the timeline questionnaire. So I've selected the questionnaire up here. and then it's going to send that. So what does that look like? So you can create a timeline questionnaire that looks like this. Different start times for different steps throughout the day so that you can build a clear timeline of what that day is going to look like. So in this case, I kind of changed this up for another video that I have, but you can obviously style this and ask the questions that you want that work best for you. And finally, you can see that on the wedding day, I've started a different workflow. So it's the post-wedding workflow. So you can touch base with your clients after you've worked with them. You can see I've sent a thank you email a day after their wedding. I've sent a feedback form 6 days after that. So that would be 1 week after their wedding. I've sent them a request for feedback. If they haven't completed it in a week, it sends again. If they do complete it, that step does not trigger, which is nice. Sends them a thank you email after they've submitted the feedback and sends them a 1-year anniversary email to congratulate them. So, in a nutshell, Dubsado can do a lot for you to automate a lot of the tasks in your business, to free up your workload so you don't have to do so much admin work and you can focus more on the client side of things. I've built Dubsado setups for lots of wedding planners to deliver the experience that they want to give to their clients, not just like a copy paste. We go through your client process together, make sure that we've hashed it all out, and then I build that in Dubsado for you. Write all the emails, design all the forms, build all the workflows to automate your client process as much as possible. So if that sounds like something that you want, feel free to go to my website and book a discovery call, and we'll talk through all of this, like where you need help, and see if we're a good fit to work together, and we'll get started after that. So thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys later.